Hello, hello. Hey, Corn's mom. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Corn's mom. Debbie J. Oh, I'm sorry you had a hard day. And it's late. I know it's late. Sorry. I wasn't even planning to go live, but I was watching a video from Julie Skolnick, and I'm like, these people have lost their damn minds, you guys. They've lost their minds. Hey, Frazzled, Kentucky woman. Hello. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Hope you get some good rest, Debbie. And we'll catch you tomorrow, hopefully, maybe. Well, they're crazy, Frazzled. I don't know. Like, they're going after this woman. I mean, I kind of laughed. Last week, Betty went after her. Um, I played that video, and then she's gone after again. So this woman, what she's doing, she's looking into Tony's past, right? Which is obviously very shady. That doesn't surprise me at all. Um, but she's got all kinds of facts and stuff. And I think she's doing it because there's something wrong with this situation, something very wrong with what they're doing. Because what they're not doing is looking for that child at all. I mean, I can't imagine right now having the kind of energy these people are putting into hassling with people and the things they're doing in just living a normal life. If I had a missing child, who would do that? Who would do it? Who would get involved in all kinds of absolute utter nonsense and threatening people? I mean, she has them very triggered, no doubt, which says something about them. We already know they're shady and they are shameful. But this is crazy. I'm telling you, it's been crazy for an entire year, more than, and it just gets worse and worse. How do you end up not giving a shit at all about the child? You think so, Frazzle? Okay, that's a good. How this is the thing, though. Okay, to be all about making money, most people would beg, borrow, steal, do whatever in the hell they had to do to come up with whatever dollar amount they needed to get their kid back. And they're using this to make money. This has to. I know I wasn't around for all of the Summer Wells stuff, and I know it got ridiculous. Um, this has to be worse, right? I've never seen anything like this in my life. I mean, what are they doing? They've got all these lawsuits. They've got Betty's got her case is going up before a grand jury. That poor child. I cannot. I cannot. Really? Oh my. Wow. Did people attack and go after other people like this? Exactly, Frost. That's what I'm saying. I say all the time that, miracles happen. And again, I know that I'm a broken record with this, but I always say that Elizabeth Smart came home and I never saw that. I didn't think that would happen. And she did. And so it gives you that was so awesome. Not only was it just awesome, but it gives you that kind of hope. Look at JC Dugar. I mean, that was a horrible life she lived. No one thought they were going to find her. Even Angela Berry in Ohio, like all these stories. And so you think there is a chance he's out there, but my God, if he sees this stuff, how crazy is that? That poor kid. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. I don't know what happened to the kid. I've never acted like I know anything because I don't. I thought a lot of shit was suspicious to me, but I cannot stress enough how honestly unacceptable Seth's behavior is. Tony's also. It's not accept. That's not acceptable behavior from just being a fucking adult. It's not. They act crazy. I don't know who could. They're stupid. Okay, they can't even talk like smart people at all. Oh my goodness. Wow, frazzled. Hey, legs. This to me is just unbelievable. I am literally constantly blown away by what I see going on here. Yep, me too. I'm right there with you, legs. I'm right there with you. And we've seen that one many times. I mean, through the years, we've seen a lot of that. Nothing quite like Lori Vallow, but Susan Smith. I mean, the list goes on. But this shit, I don't know. I do not know. I don't understand how people are making the kind of money they're making. Obviously, I don't get that. Um, I don't know how you can show your face anywhere behaving the way they behaved. And just to come out and say the things that they say, you have to know that it's ridiculous what you're saying. That's what I'm saying, Legs. I found everything suspicious. I've never tried to pin it on any parent. I don't know. I don't know anything. And that's the whole thing. Betty literally acts like she knows something. Brittany is so stupid. I cannot. I can't with that one. But if you guys know something, call the police. But they get on every single day and harass people, act crazy. This is too much. So we heard Betty say the other day that, she was just having that one, she was just going to get it out and she's not going to talk about her anymore. Well, we already knew that wasn't going to happen, but she's right back at it. And then the way Tony goes on, which again, something's very weird about this. Seth has his own channel. I haven't watched it except for like the first time, I think. I didn't even watch all that. I don't know if I watched it on his. I don't think I watched it on his. I think I watched somebody play it. But why don't they go on there and harass people? They go onto Justin's channel to harass, which again, shameful, Justin. You know absolutely how gross you're being and how much you are lying. Completely gross. They go over to Brittany's channel. They go on these other channels to say this stuff. Why doesn't Seth say it on his channel? Does Seth do anything on his channel to update people about his missing child? They just go on there and then people fawn all over him. This is my opinion. My opinion is that he has been a worthless pile of shit his entire life. Never been a provider. And took advantage of people that were younger than him, like Katie. This is just my opinion. Women aren't tearing the door down to be with him. Why would you? Again, he's not been a provider ever. And he literally brags about that. Brags about being a stay-at-home dad. Which I'm not even criticizing, but just even the way he talks about it, like, not like he was a stay-at-home dad, but I don't think like in the way that he took care of a lot of things that, I don't know, whatever. I don't know what he did. But he's never been a worker. That for sure, that has come out. That much has come out. Never been a worker, 100% not. So I think he gets a lot of attention because he goes into someone's chat and people act like, God just came in. It's really gross. People fawn all over him. So I think it's a lot for me. I think money's involved, obviously. Every time bullshit's going on, something super crazy, many times I will even ask Mr. Snotty, what on earth could somebody's motive be? And he's like, it's always money. It's always money. So I get it. Money's involved very much here. But I think another motive of his is that he's getting all this attention. Right. Like, yeah, I can't stand a lazy, worthless ass. I can't at all. Not even a looker, Seth. If you really, what do you have to offer? And now you're showing that you're using your missing son. It's gross. It just as gross as it can fucking be. But I think he's getting attention here. He likes that. But how weird. They go into these chats and go in and talk about people in ways I've never heard them go in and talk about Sebastian. When they do, they say things that are, a lot of times inappropriate. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Honestly, I've never seen anything like this. And I keep thinking, I want it to stop. I want this to stop. Obviously, I want for Sebastian to be found. But this shit really, how long is this going to go on? I kept saying, I'm not even going to talk about this. I've talked about it very little. But it just absolutely drives me crazy. I do not know how long this is going to last. What the fuck is going to make Betty stop and shut up? That one, she puts, look at this, hashtag Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil show. What is that? What the fuck does Dr. Phil have to do with anything that she does? The shit she puts. Not even kidding you. Sebastian's Army, true crime, because she's a true crime content creator, right? She's a true liar. She just is. I've caught her in lies 100%, all on my own. I will say it because it's true. Serial killers. What? Netflix? What? Tennessee, missing boy, autism. Hi, Sav. Welcome. Yeah, what is all that? What is all that? Scary stories. Nancy Grace on the scene. She's fucking crazy. Oh, I'm looking at Bullhorn Betty. This video I was going to play. All these people she is hashtagging. Dr. Phil. What? That's crazy. And just screaming her head off and acting like a complete fucking nut job. But they are really attacking this woman big time, which tells me this woman is really on to something. Right? Bullshit, Betty. I know. So this is my thinking. So literally, I was watching this woman earlier, and Tony is over on Brittany's channel threatening this woman that, they're going to find out everything they can about her. Why don't you find out where Sebastian is? The hell are you talking about? Yeah. Well, and then she said, well, do you see her? She went all crazy after court last time because saying, Nancy Grace, hashtag anyone, you better not, just shouting like a maniac the way she does. The reality is, no judge told Nancy Grace to leave people the fuck alone. So no, it's not the same thing, Betty. It's just not. Okay. First of all of your hashtags are ridiculous. Secondly, no one else has been told by a judge to pretend people do not exist. In your world, they don't exist. No, hell no. She's going to get out there and carry on. It's just the craziest shit. See, yep. I think that that's what keeps a lot of people. The reflection in my glasses. What do you see in my glasses? Oh my God, that makes me feel weird. Oh, is it Betty? Oh. I was going to say, I got Betty on up here. So what I'm thinking, though, is that we're going to end up finding something else really super. They are so triggered by this woman. That has got me very interested in what she's going to come up with, because but okay, we're just going to listen to a minute of Psycho over here, because I can't listen to much of it. Yep, you're right. No, I do believe that, Legs. You know what? What's done in the dark is going to come to light. It is. And people are shameful. I'm telling you, they are so triggered by this woman. It's wild. It is wild to me.
Or at least professed that she's here for Sebastian. Nothing more, nothing less. She wants to help the case. Now, mind you, I haven't seen Tony up until today on Brittany J's channel. I haven't seen Tony. I haven't heard from Tony. I haven't, seen him out here, kicking up a fuss, dogging anybody. That's what I mean. I haven't seen him out here.
Right. He hasn't been out here acting like a raving lunatic like you do. That's what they have you for. He just slips his penis out nonchalantly. Like, that's not completely gross. And goes after people, obviously. Kentucky woman, that's Bullhorn Betty. She's a lunatic. Straight ass lunatic. That's all you can say about her. So, no, she hasn't seen Tony until today. Well, okay. See, for one thing, why do they say that? She said that the other day. I haven't even talked to Tony. Well, why do you keep saying that? Because who cares? Did anybody say, when's the last time you talked to Tony? Whenever somebody says that, kind of makes you feel like, they just talked to Tony. I don't know. What the hell? Who cares even? But I noticed this last 2 videos that she's gone crazy on this woman, which honestly, I even left a comment on here because I was like, I was laughing, of course, but it's really pretty crazy.
And he's literally done nothing to this lady. And this lady is getting bullied by everybody and decides to project what she's feeling onto a man that she has nothing, and I mean nothing, to do with. I don't understand that. I don't know if I will understand that. Give me just a second. I'm going to fix the stuff that's going on here.
I don't know this woman, but to me, it sounds like what she wants, she's trying to figure out what the fuck what's going on, what the motive is, what's going on with an actual missing person. Shut up. Did she really? Oh my God, Jerry. There are, Sab. This story is making me crazy. Like, what is going on? I didn't see your text. I don't have a text from. I don't have any texts. Oh, I'm gonna have to play that one on my phone because they kept shutting. Okay, I know who you're talking about. I saw her at the courthouse too. Yeah. I'll pull that up. On the car and torch lights too, just in the last. Really? No, I don't care. So I don't get all wound up about that. That's fine. I just think they're very triggered by whatever Julie is doing. And so they should know that makes people perk right up. No, Jerry, they're going after this Julie woman. They're very triggered by what she's doing. And it's weird. Oh. This is so crazy. Jerry, this is crazy. What's happening here is absolutely fucking nuts. Wait till you hear the way Tony's like threatening her. Exactly. That's what see, there's something so wrong about what they're doing. And they're out there talking about all these other people, and they're not talking about finding a child. They don't. No one's acting like an adult. You're right. That's what I said. Their behavior is frankly inappropriate. I mean, all the way around, it's just inappropriate. They don't want help. I'm sorry, they don't want help. They couldn't. Like I said, most people, if I don't know where my kid is, I'm going to get involved in some horse shit. Really? This is not what you do when you can't find your child. My personal opinion is that Seth is getting a lot of attention that he's never gotten because he's never been worthy Sorry, that's my opinion. He's been worthless as tits on a boar hog, as far as I can tell, his entire life. He's never been a provider. He wants to get the attention that he's getting from this because people get so excited. Stupid people like Brittany and this maniac right here. But he's getting attention. People act like some celebrity came in the chat whenever he comes in there. And he's literally fucking inappropriate and gross. And it's shameful. Exactly. That's right. No. I can't either. Like, I can't stand them. But I'm very intrigued right now because they are very bothered by what this girl is doing. Listen to this shit. I mean, that seriously.
There we go. Delete forever. Yes.
Delete forever.
Go to this one. Make sure it's set up. That's what I was trying to do on the last one, is just make sure it's set up, because I'm sick and tired of all these damn trolls coming in here because their mommy and daddy didn't teach them any better, just to stay away and do their own thing, right? They got to go try to disrupt everybody else's lives just because they can, and they wonder why they're single.
Really? You have restraining orders against you and you won't fucking leave people alone. See, hear this? She is so mental. Just going to disrupt people's life just because I can. Wow. The law has told you to leave people the fuck alone. Exactly. There is a grand jury meeting next month about her horseshit. Who is it that's not leaving people alone? Right, legs. I wouldn't be able to, if I couldn't find my child, I'm so sure that I'm going to be on people's panel pretending to masturbate. Really? I'm doing nothing but trying to find my child. There is nothing, this is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
And people can't stand to be around them.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I think back to where we need to. I believe it.
Right. Look at Johnny Gosh's mom. She would never move from that house. She would never change her phone number. Just in case. I mean, well, who would send people cease and desist letters to quit speaking on their missing child? I mean, nothing here makes any sense at all. At all. And the whole Tony thing is just, what the hell is his motive? You keep acting like, they keep saying, this guy has volunteered his time. No, I don't buy it. I'm not buying any of this. He's volunteering his time to go on people's panel, harassing other people, threatening people. He's not going on there begging people to find this child. It doesn't make sense. Oh God, Tony. You're right. I am very lucky. Wait, what happened? Your cat went missing and I looked for her. Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. This is nuts. People don't act like that. Oh, hey, Shelby. Yeah, okay, I do see you now. Yeah, I guess I didn't. Yeah, sorry. I looked for my cat longer than Candace will. Yeah, of course I see you. Yeah. Um, no, there's something so, I don't know. You guys, the thing is, I've told you guys, I did not know, I didn't know everything that happened to, um, I wasn't here for all the Summer Wells stuff. So I have never seen anything like this before in my life. And I'm just continually get blown away. Oh, okay. I'll look. Shelby, I'll look. I know I am really bad about my email. I don't look at it all the time. Um, but I'll look for it. I will say this. The thing is, Sav, the way I see it, there's a lot, I don't have any thoughts about what anybody did because I just don't know. I don't know enough. And so I don't really have an opinion there. To me, all of the people have looked sketchy. Everyone involved has looked super sketchy to me. Um, Suspicious, you know. But uh, Seth's behavior is so gross. And that's what I do see. That is what I am able to see for sure. And this crazy maniac, especially she comes out saying, I haven't seen Tony. I haven't talked to Tony. That means she has. I mean, who the hell would say that? Who cares? You know, that doesn't make sense. So that tells you for sure that she did. But since you talked to him, everyone should be telling you, you're getting ready to possibly be indicted. You fucking psycho. Maybe take it down a notch. I don't know. Why is she willing to go literally be sentenced, go on trial and shit for these people? What in the world is the motive? I mean, I know that JLR screwed her over and she is burning shit down. For real.
Okay. Oh, I saw Sweet Misery. Did I see it? Hey,
right.
love. Hey. I hope you're doing well.
Shut up.
Find out why. Why would this lady go from wanting to help in Sebastian, whether she agrees with the father who he's working with, me, or anybody else on this platform, if she's here for Sebastian, why would she be talking about a person that's unrelated to Sebastian and only here to help and support this boy's father? That's what I can't wrap my head around. Now, I know that can see it on her face when she talks about her husband. Her husband absolutely hates the idea that she is on the internet. He wants her to hang.
You know what? I see that her husband's very supportive of her. She doesn't. He's only here trying to help a father find his son. How the fuck so? How? In what way? In what way is somebody looking for that child? I would love to get all over trying to help find that child. They're not trying to do that. No, exactly. They do need to, but she has them triggered. And this has me going, okay, she's hit a nerve big time. First of all, she's not going to play their game of like stupid Britney and come over here and act like you're going to masturbate. She's not going to have that kind of shit going on her channel, apparently. See, they don't like that. They need complete and utter idiots like this fucking fool right here. That's going to go to jail, possibly. She's very well going to be sentenced to something for these fucking weirdos that are not looking for the child. They're not. They are just not looking for this kid. I don't give a fuck what. Right, exactly. I don't know what they're doing. But this woman has them very triggered, and that's got me saying, okay, now I'm trying to listen to this. Betty has never done anything to help any case. She's not true crime. She does not. Oh, I love it. Somebody left me a comment the other day just eating my ass out, even dogging my house. Why don't you do something about your walls and shit? Because I was at the cabin, remember? Why don't you fix your walls? All this, quit worrying about Betty's loves, advocate for children, blah, blah, blah. Who the hell believes that? What kind of fools believe that shit? Who really believes that that's happening? It's not. I know. Betty goes into all this shit about screaming and shouting about shit that I don't even know what the hell it's about. But again, if she has any actual evidence that anybody has done anything, she needs to call the police. Get on here and scream and carry on and harass people. It's fucking nuts. Right. But I can't believe the people who buy into it. I honestly can't. Because it's such a joke. No, this woman wrote a lot. I actually did say, that was a lot. You put a lot into this. Really, really long, cussing me out about how great Betty is.
Hang up her hat and not go back. He is sick and tired of it. I can see it in her face. I can see it when she talks. I feel it through the computer. Her husband wants no part of this nonsense. Right. I hope she investigates me because my husband and myself was involved, in my opinion, in the same scheme. There was penny stocks. My father, he ended up losing a crap ton of money. They ended up having to sue people. I don't even know if he recouped. I don't think he recouped, but 1/3 of what he was conned out of. There's penny stocks and Ponzi schemes going all over. People on the bottom don't really know what it is. They're being hired to.
Okay, so she's trying to. So this woman is coming up with all kinds of shady shit that Tony's been involved in. And so she's trying to justify whatever he's involved in. She was even comparing him to Donald Trump the other day, which, okay, whatever. But she did, carrying on about people suing everybody, it's not that big a deal. They didn't. How many fucking lawsuits is she involved in? Who does this? I'm telling you, if I lived her life, I would have a fucking nervous breakdown. I would. I could not have that kind of fucking upheaval in my life. I would lose it. I couldn't do it. But she has been over the top, unhinged ever since she became Scorn. She's a nut job from the go. She just is, of course. But ever since the JLR thing, she has fucking been burning shit down like mad. I've never cared for her. I never thought, she's never been anything I was interested in listening to. But she's really gone off the rails ever since then. And when she said she was burning shit down, she meant it. But I just don't know how your nerves could handle shit like this. I couldn't do it. I know, Tony.
And everything, what makes these Ponzi schemes so realistic is because it looks realistic, right? That's the thing, is it looks realistic. But what does that have to do? I can understand if it was the father of this missing child and it may go to motive or means or opportunity in why we're in this situation, but to go out and intentionally embarrass the national spokesperson, I don't know who in their right mind would be that stupid. Literally that stupid. She's being egged on by these hate.
Okay, I can't. She drives me fucking nuts. You know what? National spokesperson. How is he? He is not good at it. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I've got it. I've heard enough of that. I want to play Julie's because she shows where Tony went up to threaten her. I'm done with that. I can't with that stupid psycho. I have seen her in person. She is small. Well, I think she's lost weight since then. She is really short. I think so too. Yeah. She's not a likable person. She's not she's not friendly. I was around her the whole day. I never spoke to her. She never spoke to me. I didn't want anything to. I didn't care for her when I went there. I knew I didn't care for her. I didn't know much about her, but I caught her in a lie before I even got there, and I was like, "Oh, that's not true." So already I didn't care for her antics. It's not my style at all. But no, Betty puts herself in situations so she can go scream and holler and carry on, get arrested, act a damn fool, say shit she literally knows nothing about. Everything she said about Quentin, she knew nothing. She went down there to holler in their yard, in her bullhorn. She knew nothing that was going on. Nothing about it. And she was wrong. Right. That's exactly right. That's what I said. First thing she says on here is, I haven't even seen Tony. That's a second time she's going after this woman and saying that she hasn't talked to Tony. She hasn't seen him. That means Tony called and told her to go and act like a maniac. That's what I think. Why are you even saying that? No, this Julie has them very, very triggered, you guys. Very triggered. Big time. That is what is really catching my interest right this minute. Because she's clearly on to something. She is a useful idiot, I guess. I mean, I got to tell you, the very last thing I would ever want is for Betty to get involved in any of my business at all. I would never want her to try to help me in any way, anything, nothing, nothing. Because that's it. I don't even know. But she wants to carry on about this woman's husband. And Betty is really asked her because she doesn't have a husband and she's probably never going to. I mean, I don't know who would find that attractive. I feel like she was thinking she was going to get with Seth, and that didn't seem to work out. I don't know. Just a thought I had. I don't care. But I'm pretty sure she's asked her about people who are married and people care about them, things like that. Right. Yeah, it appears that way too. It does. And then look what happened with all that Quentin Simon stuff, all that craziness with that crackhead over there acting a fool over there. It was a lot of nonsense. She was, come to find out, she was working with that Voices person. So, wow. Frazzle. I know. I know. Poor little Quentin. Sweet baby. She does. She does. It's just not attractive, all that craziness. I don't think it's attractive. Maybe it is to somebody. I don't know. I don't know. I have a hard time believing that anybody wants any of that because it's crazy. Right, right. No, you're right. Exactly. And then you have all this crazy going on. Right, Sav? Exactly right. Right. Um, we did. I love to say this. I mean, obviously, again, there's still a lot of questions. But last week, here in Arizona, we had a missing 2-year-old boy. And again, there's a lot of questions there. But a rancher's dog found this little boy and brought him to the rancher. Isn't that was so heartwarming to me? Because my daughter-in-law had texted me early in the morning about this boy, and I shared stuff on X, and I was like, let's talk to each other about it all day and see what happens. And that was really heartwarming. That was so awesome. But yes, there are a lot of missing people, and this right here is just craziness. Oh, Frazzle, I just saw your. Yeah, she was. She was. frazzled that whole time. Yeah, come to find out, Molly said that. All that. Okay, stop. That's enough. Exactly. But no, she was working with Cher with all that. It was all to cause ruckus muckus, and nobody gave two shits about Quentin. No. Remember, Cher they put up a huge banner of Cher on that thing over there, on that gate thing. Exactly. That's exactly right. And 100% a circus. Yep. They're going to make this story about them, and I think it's going to be really. Oh, I missed. Oh, good night, Legs. It was good to see you. I mean, obviously, I would love to know where Sebastian is, but think about it. I think Julie might come out with something here because they're very triggered by this. Wait, what? Did you see that? Well, that's a thing, Sav. Last year, when this was all going on, it immediately turned into a circus, and everyone kept saying, "Why aren't you talking about this?" And I was like, "What is there to talk about? The madness? It's right because they didn't act like full. Because apparent, and that's it. It's bad enough if just people like Betty go and act a fool. You've got literally everybody involved acting like crazy people. I think that this woman is trying to figure out why they are not actually trying to find a child. I think she really believed they were trying to find this child and she wanted to help. And she figured out they're not. I don't know, but they are so triggered by her that this has my antenna up. That's what she tells, what they're doing. It's crazy.
Hello, my autism parents who are already in my chat. I hope you're having a good night. I love you, my fellow autism parents.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward through some of this.
It's so crazy. I don't know if you saw my oh, by the way, hello everybody who's here. Please hit that like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already. But if you're here, you probably Well, no, you might not have subscribed because you're seeing me. You or something she like, simmer down now, simmer down. All right, I'm not saying it right. All right, simmer down now. I said simmer. I said
She
simmer
has.
down now. Simmer down now. Sit, sit.
Okay, we'll get.
Intimidation, which is his attempt to silence me and get me to stop talking, right? And I have to tell you, threats are a very effective way of silencing people, which is why people do it,
Hey sis, this is Julie Skolnick. She's digging into Tony. I like what she's doing. I because she definitely has them triggered, and their behavior is not okay. I've been saying for a year, what the hell is actually going on here? And she very well might be figuring it out because they are not okay with what she's doing at all. No, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, it does look like that, huh, Jerry? I didn't notice that. Right. Right. I think they really thought she was stupid, like Brittany J or something. Yep. She's not a stupid woman. I mean, I thought she was a little wacky for a while. I didn't really watch her much. But she's really on top of this shit, man.
Because for this live, I talked to Al and I had to tell him all about this guy named Tony Mathis and try to explain everything about him and who he is and where he's from and what he said and what he's doing and all this stuff. And
That's her.
by the way, if my internet, I have crappy internet to everybody who's here, so if my internet should go funky and go out, I just takes a couple minutes and I come back in. Yeah, you don't believe a word he says. Thank you, hon. I appreciate that. So, and as I'm explaining it to Al, I said, I knew what his reaction would be. And I said, I was going to do a little mini video, a little short today saying, listen, I'm going to be talking to Al later on about, the threats and intimidation being done to me by,
they are going
Tony
after her
Mathis
hard
or whatever. And
Yeah,
if you never see me on TikTok or YouTube again, it was having to do with my conversation with Al. No, sure, yeah. So, have I heard anything about this being a film documentary? Sort of, yes. But I've heard what I know is and can prove are two different things. Versus what I've heard. I don't like.
No, I get that. She was very misled. As far as Seth goes, I don't think she paid a lot of attention. I don't think she realized he was out there pretending to masturbate and shit on people's panel. I don't know. What I'm saying though, she's definitely on top of some shit with Tony. And they're very triggered by her. Oh, of course they are. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. People are misled. Oh, wow. Hi, Julie. Thank you. You know, that's very nice of you. Um, I think it's really sad what they're doing to you, but you have them triggered. You absolutely have them triggered, and it. I've been wondering for a whole year what in the world these people are up to, and I think you might be figuring it out because they're not looking for that boy. They're not, and it's sad. It's so sad. It's nice to meet you too. I really. And Betty's crazy. And I think you have a wonderful husband. He seems so supportive of you. He does. It did. It got really weird. It did. Julie, it got weird last year. I mean, I kept saying, I don't know if you realize how crazy they have acted. They've acted inappropriately, big time. I mean, uh, he is great. He seems so supportive of you. I think it's awesome. And honestly, what I see, it looks like you're a really good mother, and I think he loves that. He appreciates you for that. That's what it seems like to me. You guys seem very supportive of each other. I think it's awesome. And yeah, I bet she scares you because she acts like a maniac. She acts like a crazy person. I really feel bad that they're going after you like this. I just feel, but I also feel hopeful because I think that you're coming up with something that you are scaring them. It is weird because you hit a button. You have triggered them. Look at Betty. She's going to spend her time going after you when she's looking at there's a grand jury meeting about her next month because of her harassing people. Who would do this? It's crazy. There's something really wrong here. Julie, in my opinion, there is something super wrong because they're not looking for that child. They're not. It breaks my heart for Sebastian to ever see the behavior that's gone on. I do have hope that he is alive. I have faith that he's alive somewhere, but my heart breaks for what he is actually seeing happen in his name. It's very sad. I do want to tell you also, I'm very happy that Spencer gets to go to his old school. That makes me very happy. I think you're awesome. And I won't say stepmom. You've absolutely been their mother. You believe, oh my gosh, do you really? Oh, I'm glued to what you got going on, Julie. I'm glued to it. Wow. It's scary, huh? This is scary. It actually is. Because it's not right. No, and you know what, Sav? That's what I've said all along. Um, I have never blamed anybody. I don't know what happened. But what I see is stuff that is inappropriate. And it makes me sad. Oh, I would love that, Julie. I would absolutely love that. I would, because quite honest, I actually care about where I have said all along, I'm not on anybody's side. I'm on Sebastian's side. That's the side I'm on. Let's look for a child, for Pete's sake, because I don't know what I would lose my mind if I couldn't find my child. I would never sleep again. I don't know how you eat, you sleep. I don't know how you function without knowing where your child is. Doing all this stuff is just not right. I will tell you this, and I'm going to say this, and this is really weird, Julie, because I have actually not said it on my channel. Not one time have I said it. Just in the past 2 months, our grandson was diagnosed with autism in the last 2 months. He's 3 years old.
Shush. Go. 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 Come on. Come.
Right. Did you frazzle? Thanks. Yeah, you guys, please do that. I do remember hearing about that too, Sab. Yep. So, having that diagnosis for my grandson, honestly, has actually made me listen to you in a whole different way too. Yeah, I actually watch him. Yep. He just started going to a different school. I'm very involved, and my son and daughter-in-law have allowed me to be very involved, and I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, I care for him. That's what I do. That's my job. Right, there you go. Yep. Jerry also. No, I do remember that, Sav. I do. Like I said, I haven't blamed any parent. And I didn't even want to speak about Seth. But you can't help it because, first of all, Betty, when you get Betty involved, you're just turning it into a circus, 100%. And when he went, I was done. When he went and pretended that he was masturbating on Brittany's panel, that was it for me. That was it. Hey, I bought this shirt right here from Seth's website. I bought this from Seth. I've had it for a long time. I thought Chris and Katie were very suspicious. And to me, that was the last place that child was. I had questions, But the fact is, I don't know anything. I don't have any, I have no proof of anything at all. But what I saw is very inappropriate behavior, and it makes me very sick to my stomach. He is, he's not, he doesn't. It makes my heart hurt for Sebastian. the circus, the craziness. When you start looking at all of the crazy that has gone on for the past year, it's a lot. No, you're right. I never want to think that either. In fact, it's really hard to get your head around a child being hurt by their parents, the people who love them the most, or that they should trust the most. But you can't, but we do know it happens. Wow, Sav, that's wild. Oh, I don't know what happened. Yeah, I was listening to you tonight. You were the reason I went, you're the only reason I even went live. I was like, this is crazy. I watched your live and I was like, this makes me nuts. It makes me very sad that they're going to go after you like this, but they have 100%, you have triggered them. I haven't seen him act like this. Yeah, that's just it. He doesn't behave. He doesn't behave like a father that is missing a child. It does. And you know, I got to say something that something you have said that I had not thought about, Julie, that you've said recently is the fact that, you know, how much it could have worked out better for Sebastian all the way around if Seth had given Chris and Katie that respite time you talked about, giving them a break, because it has come out that it was being spoke about, that it was a lot for them. Now, how much of all that, I don't know I don't have proof of anything. I don't know, but that has come out. And he said, I heard him say out of his own mouth, he was going to give Sebastian a year to get his shit together or something to that effect. Well, that's infuriating. How about be a child or be a parent, be the adult, be the parent. And if they had worked together, but I don't feel like he was trying to help work with people. But he didn't spend a lot of time with him. He wasn't trying to. And had he listened to that and given them extra help, I mean, you could help lessen the burden of the stress. That I don't mean to say burden, because I hate the word burden when it comes to a child. They're not a burden, but it is a lot. And he wasn't trying to help them with that. You know, a lot of really weird things have come out that make it seem like too many things were not about Sebastian. They just weren't. It was about a bunch of other crap. I think mostly that Seth likes to be popular, and he wasn't being popular. This has people fainting over him. Every time he goes into a chat, you think it's, you know, a celebrity. That's what I think he likes. That's what he likes. But he absolutely could have helped that situation for his child, and he didn't. Right. Exactly. Exactly right, Jerry. Exactly. It is a horrible thing. That's what I'm saying. This is where I finally said, I can't deal with Seth. I can't deal with it. He has made fun of things about things that boy has done. He should never have talked about online. It just not right. Oh, I meant, oh, good night, Kentucky woman. Thank you. Love you. I just really hope, Julie, that they will not, I think you have a good support system. You have your husband there, and I don't think they can do anything to you. What are they going to do to you? They're not reputable people themselves. It's all a circus. It's being made a joke out of in that boy's name. It's really disgusting. But I mean, I'm sorry for anything they do to you. But I think you're going to be okay. You have a husband that loves you and supports you, and I don't really know what I don't know what they can do. I don't know who they are. No, exactly. Right, Jerry. That's all so strange. This is weird. Oh, she's batshit crazy. She is, Julie. She is. But I do believe, I think if in person, I don't think that she's all talk. She'll even go, she will go approach you. You've seen that. But if you get in her face, she actually will back down. I believe. I think. I've seen her before in person. I don't say that I met her because I did not speak to her. This was a few years ago. I did not care for her. But even Molly says that she will back down if you get in her face. Yeah, I don't think she's really scary. She likes to act scary. She's gotten a lot nuttier. She lost a boyfriend or whatever. I don't know if it was a boyfriend. I don't know. She thinks she did. I don't really know what happened. But since she's really been a lot more unhinged since then, in my opinion. She has been arrested a lot. She's had a lot of people have gotten restraining orders against her. And just think about that. How many people do you know of that have gone to the law to say, I need that person to stay away from me? That's a lot. That's crazy. Oh, okay, Jerry, you're right. Yeah. A lot of those body cams we saw, she was drunk, huh? Yeah. Maybe that's it. Be careful of trolls coming into your channel because Betty will get her. Oh, yeah, I told you they went after me. Whenever I talked about Julie the other day, when she was driving around all crazy. Yeah, they did come at a little bit. Yeah, you're right. Those body cam things we saw, she was drunk. I forgot about that. Crazy chihuahuas. I wouldn't be. I'm not afraid of her. I don't want to deal with her because I think she's unhinged. She's crazy. Yeah, I think she definitely is a wuss. It's her mouth. I don't really think that she. Yeah, I'm super excited for you, Julie. Thank you so much for coming, and I appreciate it. And good luck. I would definitely like to do a panel with you. That would be awesome. Yes, good night. Good luck tomorrow, and we'll be watching for sure. Good night. Right? It was very nice to see her. Yeah. I didn't expect. No, I think for sure Betty is jealous because she can talk about Al, but I thought Al was pretty cool myself, and the best thing that I saw about Al was that he's very supportive of her. And that right there is a threat to Betty. That right there is a threat to her. So yeah, I want you guys to hear what they do. What they do. It's oh, that's sweet. Yep. Yeah, I think that we should give her all the encouragement because she has pushed a button in these people that is very real.
Like to talk about anything I can't prove or say lies, because lies are, can be slanderous against people. So like when I talked about Tony Mathis's involvement with that Zeke Rewards Ponzi scheme clawback, and then the subsequent lawsuit for people who refused to pay back the money or set a payment plan, he acknowledged it. So,
and see, that's another thing. They keep wanting to downplay Betty kept saying, so he got involved in something that he didn't understand or whatever. I don't know what all she's trying to downplay him getting involved in that. I'm sorry, there is something to be said about people who continuously, because it sounds to me like there's more, and we did hear JLR talk about some of this, but when you constantly get yourself involved in this, it's not accident. And I'm sorry, look at what he's involved in now. He looks shady as shit now. Even if nothing else had happened, you would have to say, what the hell is really going on here? How are you a spokesperson? That doesn't make sense. You're not. You're not a very good one. Yeah. I don't know if I can play it. Do you remember they kept, whenever when what's his name? Oh, shoot. Colby was trying to play that one. It shut. Remember, he kept shutting down. I'm going to play it on my phone because I think it will shut me down. Like it was causing his, yeah, like it was shutting his whole live down. Oh, okay. Yeah, hold on. I'll put her. I'm gonna cut that on pause. We'll go back. I really hope that you guys will check out her channel. Where did it go? Yeah, I have to play it on my phone. I saw it. Arizona family, that's it, yeah. Okay. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I don't think they can shut me down with this. Yeah, I'm not really sure how it works. I really don't know. But I just think it doesn't surprise me to see that he's involved in more sketchiness. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to play it on my phone and just show you guys because it did not let Colby play the last one. It definitely didn't. Okay, let me see. Right. No, like I said, I don't know what all he's got himself into. He made a mistake, whatever happened. But what he's doing right now is super sketchy to me. Why are you on people's panels trying to get people to attack somebody? If there's a missing child, find the child. You know, this just doesn't make sense. Okay, I'm going to play this right here. Can you guys see it? Oh, shit. I could put my microphone down here.
Well, it's been an interesting 2.5 weeks. It's only been that long? Yeah, it feels a little longer, I would say. It went fast. Guilty. Did you expect that? Not at all. I mean, obviously I knew that's a possibility. Yeah, so it was a bit of a surprise, actually. What made you surprised that it went that direction?
Really?
I mean, I shouldn't be surprised knowing what I know about the judicial system and how it works. So it still is. Just you were there, so from what happened, I was surprised with that outcome. And we didn't really see any noticeable reaction from you or really anybody else in the courtroom when that verdict was read. When you did hear it, what was your first thought? So, it's not a secret that I had a near-death experience, right? I talked about it at my sentencing. And when you have that experience and you go to the other side, you understand, you have a life right here. You see your whole life, everything that happened to you. And you see what's important and what's not important. And you see what matters in life. So what matters in life is how you react to things, how you treat other people, and the love that you give while you're here on earth. And that's it. So you felt not reacting was the best call in that moment? No, I felt like I should have joy in every situation, which is what I was taught to do in heaven. So you had a list of witnesses you could call, your parents, your sister, even your brother again, but you chose not to. And I think you resting without calling anybody was a surprise to everybody who had been following the trial. What went into that decision? So did you read any of the motions that were filed precluding my sister and my mother from speaking about certain subjects? Some of them.
Yeah, I haven't.
Did you read any of the motions that were precluding me from asking certain questions to the law enforcement? Yes. So, and did you see all the people that they struck from my witness list? Yeah. Okay. So, what did that leave you with? That's what I'm saying. In the judicial system, the way that it works is they really don't let you put on a defense. They just don't. They don't let you put on your defense the way that you want to present it. So you think, and this is what I thought too, because you're naive when you go into it, right? Like, I didn't know, I was 46 years old the first time I was ever arrested. I didn't know how the system worked. I didn't know any of that. So you think they get to tell their side and you get to tell your side. And you think that's the way that it works, and it doesn't. It doesn't work that way. And in a high-profile case like this, there's money and jobs and things that are going on way behind the scenes that nobody sees. I mean, what you saw, it's even interesting. So think about this. What you saw, how many different things did you see than what the jury saw? Because you see the arguing of motions. You see all the things that the prosecutor's saying behind the scenes, and they don't get to even see any of that. So it's the way that the system works, and it's what it does. And so, yeah, they precluded me basically from having a defense. They precluded me from talking about things that would be most important to prove your case. So if the judge precludes all those things, what are you supposed to get up and say? I guess in your case, though, you could have testified. That's true. Why not? So there's a lot of reasons. The way that the system works, if I were to really explain, because now just being behind the scenes of the system, I mean, obviously you see things differently, but it's very interesting what the state is allowed to do. So if you put on any kind of case, okay, any kind of defense, one person, like one detective, say the detective Moffat that they didn't put on the stand, right? I really wanted to put him on the stand. You wanted to cross-examine him. Well, he was the case agent for the first, year and a half or something like that. So he's the one that talked to everybody. He's the one that found out all the information. And they didn't put him on at all. And I think that was because of the exhibits that I was proposing were mainly of him, right? So they didn't put him on at all because they didn't want me to cross-examine him on the stand. So if I put up anybody, if I put up one person, then they get to put on a whole other case after that. They get to put on a rebuttal case after that. So they can, and I think this is like the MO of the state. So this is how trial works. Like they put on their case, and then you put on your case, and then they can go back and put on a whole nother case. Like they kind of save it for the end. And so there's strategy involved, and there's, I think of couples retreat. I'm a big movie buff, so I think of things, and I think I studied.
Do you think so, Sab? I don't.
And the art of war. I mean, that's kind of like, it's crazy what really is going on behind the scenes. So you didn't want Trina K to get back up there and present a lot more after if you were to have testified. I didn't do it for that purpose. I just knew that is a possibility. We were talking to the jurors after the verdict, and they had a lot of interesting things to say. One of them, I would be really interested to hear what they said. I didn't get to hear any of that, so I've been sleeping. So one of them thought not guilty until closing arguments. Do you feel like you did not do enough in closing arguments to have convinced that juror to keep that decision? I don't think that it was my job really to convince them. I was just trying to present it from my side. you know, a lot of them had the same questions that we thought. So,
Right.
just to kind of bring you into what affected them the most. I'd love to hear that actually. So, all of them sat there wondering, where is Tylee? She's in the body camera footage.
Right.
Why is she not testifying? And they felt that there was a part of the story missing, which they didn't know about your previous convictions, but they were correct.
Did they not?
They did not know. According to them, they did not know, and they shouldn't have known based on
They should
how
have known, and it was weird, right? Because it seemed like Trina K was so talking around Tylee without talking directly about her, you know. So I'm sure that was confusing.
Would you have wanted the jurors to know that she's dead?
I was precluded from giving out that information. So that's the way the law works, right? We were both precluded, so that made it very awkward, don't you think?
Let's say you weren't. Would you have preferred the jurors to know that Tylee was dead?
I don't know that. I think they obviously did know.
Well, they said they learned afterwards. So as they were coming out, people were saying, you can now look up the case. So they were Googling things and they're seeing all these prior
So you
convictions.
didn't think that happened during deliberations? Like maybe one person informed all of them that was the case?
Well, I mean, obviously,
I mean,
you and I won't know.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm not saying I was there.
But they were upset when they found out that Tylee and JJ are both dead. For you, seeing Tylee on the video, I mean, what was that like for you? You were convicted in her death, but we're seeing video of her in that courtroom.
Well, I understand where Tylee is, and I know what she's doing, and I know where she is, and so it's been almost 6 years since she passed away. I mean, this is the catalyst, right? What happened with her and Charles was the catalyst of her killing herself. So I was precluded from talking about that. I was precluded from bringing that up.
The detectives obviously don't say that she killed herself.
I'm aware of what the detectives say, that they weren't there.
So that's what actually leads me to my next question on this. So
Oh, I can't stand this bitch.
I know last time you said that there was a domino effect in our last interview that was kind of the cause,
Right.
or the result
Right,
of all
Jerry.
of these deaths of people. And when I asked you about it more, you said, I'll save that for next time. So here we are. What do you mean by domino effect? And was the catalyst of that Chad Daybell?
So, because I still have my appeals and another trial coming up, right? I don't want to really necessarily get into the details of it, but yeah, it was a domino effect, one that I was not prepared for. Like, what happened with Charles that day, between Tylee and Charles that day, had been building for months. They had been getting into these fights, and I had to separate them physically twice. Tylee and I went and stayed in a hotel twice to get away because she was pushing his buttons like only a teenager can, you know? And when that happened that day, I mean, that's what I was precluded from discussing. I was precluded from talking about what led up to this incident, why it was so intense in those few minutes, why things happened like they happened. So it was hard for me. It's hard for me to know.
Can you imagine if she had been allowed to tell them that Tylee killed herself? She's so gross. Wow. I know, it makes me crazy the way she does that. I wish they wouldn't let her do interviews. Sav, I went to one day of this trial. I went probably the best day, where Kay and Adam, the day that Kay and Adam testified. I think she did, Frazzled. I think she did. So sad. So sad. I don't think they pay them, though. I don't think they do. I don't know. Idaho doesn't let her do this stuff. I don't know why Arizona's letting her.
not be able to talk about that. It's not be hard for me to be able to say what actually happened. It's so hard because you think you're going to be able to get up and just tell what happened, and that's not the way the law works. It's not the way it's written. So nobody gets to do that. You know, I'm in here with these women that have these family tragedies too. And they're family tragedies. Things happen, and they're precluded from telling the story. You're precluded from telling that in court, and the jury never gets
Me
to see
too.
that. So, and you see all the things that the jury doesn't get to see. I mean, they get very limited information. I mean, you saw how everything I tried to say, Trina K's like, she can't say that, she can't say that, she can't say that, you know. And so, not being a lawyer, you know, and trying this, you know, myself, like, I was always surprised. Like, okay, well, I guess you can't really tell your side ever. Like, I guess that's not how it works.
I know with our interview, you referenced a family tragedy, and that was something that we heard in your opening and your closing arguments. But that phrase bothered a lot of
Yes.
people who know what happened in a totality, right?
Who knows what happened in totality besides me? Who
Well,
was there?
I think everybody who's seen that you've been convicted of now
wrongly
four
convicted.
deaths.
Wrongly convicted, yes.
So if you say that you were wrongly convicted of the deaths of your children, who killed them?
So you know from my interview with Colby that I told him what really happened, and so that's just what happened.
Can you put that into your own words here?
I could, but I would probably save that for my next trial. So.
I want to ask you a little bit about the testimony. Obviously, this was your first time. I mean, you're not an attorney. What was that like cross-examining people for you, getting up there and having to be able to put into words your questions properly? You got a lot of objections and kind of had to revamp there on the spot. What was that like for you?
It's harder than it looks. It's harder than it looks. It's stressful in a way. Like your brain has to be going 100 miles an hour. You know, I've been in jail for over 5 years, almost 6 years, so you don't really have to use your brain very much in jail. So it was like
See, her giggling pisses me
math
off.
weed or something. You know, you're having to think all the time. So it was interesting. It was different than I thought it was going to be. It's difficult.
What was it like facing your brother for the first time in years?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, it all happened so fast. I'm still really kind of processing. I mean, yesterday was the first day I slept in like 3 weeks or so. So today I slept into a little bit. I knew you guys were coming. I was like, I better get up because, you know, I knew you guys were coming. But it was different than I thought.
Did you think that your interactions with Adam were positive between the two of you in the courtroom?
I didn't really think anything at the time. I was trying to be in just lawyer mode and kind of do my job at the time. You know, it's hard because you have being your own attorney, right? You're obviously emotional. Women were obviously more emotional than the men who get up and do it. But I tried to mostly be in attorney mode and try to stick to that.
Well, and that's an interesting point because I think the difference that we saw with
Yeah,
you
she
versus
does.
if you had an
Exactly.
attorney was sometimes there were personal aspects. For example, the green chili chicken enchiladas. That became a huge part of this that I don't think anybody had on their bingo card that was going to be part of this trial. But obviously an attorney would not have started going into that. Why bring that up? And what was that interaction between you and Adam like?
So, I don't know. I mean, it was different when it was up there with him because, you know, you've known him your whole life. You know, I was going to come in and say, you know, I'm funny. I'm always doing movie lines. Our whole family is like that. We're big on movie lines. Like, Summer and I will text back and forth in total movie lines without any words ever that are our own, you know, just quoting back and forth. And so I wanted to come in and ask Adam, who is Ernest T. Watson? And see what his reaction would be. Because there's no way he couldn't laugh. You know?
No, he seemed annoyed on the stand.
Yeah, well, he would laugh because that was the name that he called himself when we used to play school when we were little growing up. That was like his nerdy name for school when we played school. So I thought that would be funny. But I was trying to be, I mean, it's obviously a serious situation.
Remember, I told you guys she's trying to have a conversation with Adam. I knew that's what she was trying to do. Nobody thinks you're funny or cute or any of that shit. I don't. And you're right, Dre. It makes me sick that Keith Morrison was taken in by her at all. the way she behaves, that's somebody I don't care for people like that. When you say, Sav, that you were taken in, you find her to be, I don't know what the word. See, I don't. I find her to be irritating, manipulative, and I just, and all that giggling. What the hell is funny about you killing your whole family? There's nothing funny at all. And then this near-death experience, I don't want to hear that shit from her or her man tits. Nobody heard about that until you decided to be, prophets or whatever the hell you are. I don't even know what. No, I know. I worded it wrong, Sav. I did. But see, to me though, it just blows my mind, because I do think that a lot of people obviously see that. A lot of people obviously have her whole life, because she's been doing not good stuff. Yeah. And I didn't word it the right way. It just, to me, she just drives me crazy. And I feel like if I knew her before this, I would not have liked her. I just don't think I would. But a lot of people say how she does have that. Yep. Right, Jerry. Yeah. No, a lot of people are taken in by her. And that's how she's managed to be so manipulative. Oh, I can't stand the giggling, though. This giggling is so annoying. Right. She's evil. But I knew she was trying to have a conversation with Adam. And see, that's where she, even still, she acts like that's okay. No, this is a court situation. He's a witness. You're playing attorney. Oh, can't stand her. I cannot stand her.
But it's hard with my own family to be serious, because we're really a joking family, and so
I think
would you
so.
call you and Adam estranged though now?
Yeah.
Not really necessarily. Yeah. That kind of the personal part of this, I want to touch on a little bit more of that in the testimony. So it seemed from a totality standpoint that some of the testimony that bothered you the most was talking about Charles dating other women, specifically with Nancy Jo Hancock, but you also referenced it in your cross-examination of Detective Duncan. Why did that aspect bother you so much? I don't think it bothered me that much. I think it surprised me, because I wasn't aware of any of that until we got the discovery. You did not know he was dating other women? No. But you were having the affair with Chad Daybell, so how does that You can say affair, but Chad was really just my best friend. At the time? Yes. But then you got married a few months later. Correct. So you were just friends, according to you, with Chad before Charles' death? Correct. And then only romantic things started after Charles' death? Correct. Do you still to this day believe that Charles was a dark spirit, a possessed spirit named Ned? That's a whole thing that has been way misconstrued. Can you clear it up? Probably not in the 5 minutes we have left. Obviously, I have to ask, right? Because so much centered around the religion part of this, including these Nephi texts. The Nephi text, I think, became possibly the crux of this trial, and it also was what affected the jurors most. They felt that some of those text messages between you and Alex were some of the most damning evidence in this. Is that what they're saying now? That's what they're saying now. So how do you describe the Nephi texts? So, yeah, they've been totally and completely misconstrued. So I explained that somewhat in my closing. That's their job. So the prosecution, the state, they're not there, right? They receive all this information, and then they make up a story that goes along with whatever information that they have, right? They make it up. It's a made-up story. They weren't there. They didn't experience it, so they have no idea. They have to make up a story, and then they have to stick to it. And then they
put that out to the media, and then they put their narrative out, and then they stick to their narrative. So you've heard this for 5 years, but it's very misconstrued.
So what is it?
So when you're speaking spiritually to someone else who understands spiritual things, so say Chad, for instance, right? Chad had a near-death experience. He's had 3, actually. I had a near-death experience. We both went to heaven. We both had that experience. So what bonded
Lord.
us is it's a very lonely place to have that kind of knowledge and have no one to talk to about it in your life that understands that. And so when someone else understands that and you're speaking spiritually, we weren't speaking of anything on earth. We weren't speaking of anything that was happening here. We're speaking of things that are happening in the spirit world. So anybody that's going to read any text of yours, it's going to be way over their head in the sense that they hadn't had those experiences. So they have nowhere to put them.
So what does be like Nephi mean?
Be courageous, be brave, have perseverance.
And why did you have to be brave in that situation? What were you referencing then to be brave about?
So Adam and Charles and Brandon were plotting against me. My sister was worried about it. My mom was telling me about it. I didn't really realize it. I was in the middle of taking care of kids with special needs, a daughter with chronic illness and a son with special needs. So if you know anything about kids with autism, it's 24 hours a day. And I was busy mom. They were like, oh, this is weird. Adam came into town and he's with Charles and you haven't talked to him and we need to let you know there's something going on. Maybe you could come stay at my house. You know, my sister had that whole thing of things, come stay at my house. I can't pick up JJ and go stay at someone else's house. It ruins his routine.
So you were referring to the intervention.
What they call an intervention. Now I don't believe that's what it was at all.
What did you believe
I think they have other plans completely.
So when Charles died, why did you guys wait 47 minutes to call 911? That became a huge
I didn't wait any time. I
Well, I guess you didn't call at all.
Because
Alex called.
That's right. It was his responsibility in my mind that he took over and was handling that situation. I was getting the kids out of danger.
Do you think he should have called sooner?
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I think he probably freaked out. You know, Charles and Alex were friends for years. Like, Alex lived with us for like 6 months in 2018. And he and Charles would hang out all weekend and they'd go do stuff together. And Charles loved Alex and Alex loved Charles. This just happened this day the way that it happened, and it was a tragedy. You know, Alex is probably freaked out as I was of the whole situation. So I don't know why he did what he did, and you know, he's not here for me to ask him anymore.
Do you regret representing yourself in this trial?
No.
Why?
It's for the same reasons I told you before about getting a speedy trial. I'm doing that for all the women in here that have been sitting here for so many years, you know. And I told you, I wouldn't expect attorneys to be able to do that. They want more time, you know. So, you know, I'll continue to go through the motions. And, you know, we have another trial coming up in a couple of weeks. We have lots to do for that trial and preparing and getting ready. And maybe some of those things will be cleared up in this trial. You know, they filed a motion that they're going to bring in everything now.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so if the judge allows that, which...
Who knows?
What do you think he's going to do?
Well, yeah, I mean, we don't know.
You tell me what you think he's going to do, Brianna. You think he's going to say, nope, no 404B, we're not going to let any of that stuff in? I mean,
the judge was relatively patient with you, I thought, throughout the trial.
Did you?
Well, I think he was helping you. Given that you were just found guilty, and I know you don't like the jail conditions, would you change your plea in Brandon's trial?
No. Why? Will I change it? No. Because I didn't do anything. So, no, you have to, there comes a point when
Okay, we'll finish this. Then I want to hear what
you just
happened.
have to stand up, regardless of what they do to you, right? This will have zero effect on me in eternity. Zero effect on me in eternity. And I already know that. So I'm here to help whatever women I can help in here to be courageous and stand up for themselves, because it's a system that bogs you down. These women are bogged down. They've been here for years. They've been treated horrible in this situation, and they've been treated horrible by their own attorneys.
I know.
They've been treated like, okay, they've been here for 8, 9, 10 years waiting to go to trial when the conditions of the prison, even if they got convicted, are a million times better than they are right here. So I'm helping them to stand up and be courageous. You know, if you didn't do it, you just get up and say you didn't do it. If they convict you because that's the way the law works, then they're going to convict you because that's the way the law works. It is designed to convict you. It is not designed to acquit you. And I want you to look this up, and I want you to tell me next time we talk, how many people in Maricopa County in a murder case get acquitted? I want to know the percentage. Get acquitted.
Shut up.
I
Shut
bet
up.
you it's like less than 1%.
I don't want to. That's at the end anyway. She needs to shut up. Everybody has it wrong. Everybody everywhere has had it all wrong. You know, Lori's been done wrong. Queen, did you hear her say she was trying to chat? She basically said what I said. She was trying to chat with Adam. She pretty much said that. I knew that's what she was trying to do. She does. She pisses me off. Yeah, she was saying, because they asked her about the enchiladas. I know all her giggly stuff. Well, the way we talk to each other, you know. Yeah, this wasn't about you chatting with your brother. And I knew that's what she was trying to do on the stand. She's so, oh. Oh, she makes me crazy. And then to carry on and on and on about the judicial system. You know, it failed Charles. Our system failed Charles. He begged for help because he knew you were going to try to kill him. Nothing has happened to you. You still get to parade around, do interviews, and act like you're somebody fucking special. She keeps acting like she's on a pageant stage still. I didn't know, though, Jerry, that she had even done that interview. So how did the day go, Queen? Was it good? The weather, I feel like the weather was probably really nice. Oh, awesome. Yeah, do that. Have you seen the way they are totally attacking Julie Skolnick? Because she's finding out stuff on these people because they're not, their behavior is crazy as shit. It's batshit crazy, if you ask me. She came in chat tonight too. I know it was hard to watch on my phone like that. I just think when Colby tried to play that, it kept shutting him down. Yeah, these weirdos are really going after her, which, like I said, has me very intrigued that she really has something that they do not want out. Yeah. She said she was surprised that she was convicted or that it was guilty. Because she probably really thought that she did a great job of representing herself. Yeah. She just likes, she does. She likes to hear herself. She's liking these field trips to get out of jail. I don't know what to think about that. I know, you guys. I don't know. Yeah, let's look. There, that did happen. Um, Nate played it last night. Right, Jerry. That's why. Right, right. That's why it seems like that. Okay, see, because I had not. I watched. Well, we watched it together after the when they all came out, but I didn't see that part. Right, Jerry. That's why there's a high percentage. Exactly right. Yeah, see, okay, I had not seen that part at all, for sure. Oh, there was another. There's a juror interview. Hold on one second, though. Um, that was last night, right? Uh, okay, Queen. Yeah, I think they can. Right, right, Jerry. Exactly. But I think, okay, yeah, you guys. Hey, try me. Look, try me. Look, 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 look. Look at your solo cup. Yes, yes. Cheers. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. let's hear what this juror said, you guys. Because I admit, I don't know. I didn't hear this the first day. It doesn't sound good to me either. Oh, wow. Oh, that's awesome, Trimey. I love that. Yeah, you got to see this, Jerry, because I don't know how I missed it the one day, but I did. Oh, wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. See, this is kind of scary. Makes me nervous. But I don't know that they would retry her, honestly. I don't.
He wanted to bring to attention a few things a juror had said to me in that interview. The juror then, after that was filed, we did a follow-up interview at his request, and he clarified it, and it ended up not going anywhere. But here again is what the juror said yesterday afternoon.
Yeah. Do you remember your reaction learning that she has been convicted of killing her 2 children?
You know, I feel sorry for her. You know, I mean,
Is it normal?
driving home yesterday, I'm just like, God, she's spending the rest of the next 3 lives in prison in a cell. You know, I mean, you got to feel sorry for her.
Okay, he felt sorry for her. There's a lot right there, you guys. Not only did he say driving home yesterday. Okay, how does he feel sorry for her? She killed her kids. He said, I felt sorry for her.
Or even though, I mean, that's awful thing to do. I mean, there's something wrong up here, but what do you think? Still, you know, you just feel awful about it.
Okay, so what does all this mean? Let's go to our expert
Isn't that crazy?
prosecutor, Rachel Smith. For those of you that might not know who she is, she served as a special prosecutor on the first case with Lori Vallow Daybell in Idaho. She's done over 100 other murder cases.
Crazy.
She's done death penalty cases. She knows her stuff. And maybe she's seen situations like this before. Here is what she had to say. All right, Rachel, the big talk about over the past 24 hours, one of the big things has been this juror who spoke to the media, all of us yesterday, and talked about how, he talked about that maybe he may have seen or known about Lori's prior offenses the night before the verdict came in. We don't know if he misspoke. We don't know the context of that, but it has a lot of people raising questions. First of all, just your overall thoughts of what he said and what that could that mean anything for this case?
Isn't that wild still?
Well,
Try me.
the sign bit, the response that I would have to that juror's clip is, we don't know. Could have been a misstatement. He was exhausted. It's my understanding the jurors walked out, and there were, understandably, the reporters were trying to talk to him. They probably had very little time to get, I'm not even sure they were warned that the media was out there, or that the media could approach them. So having had reporters come up to me and ask me questions, I worked in an office where we were coached a lot about how to handle that. We literally had one of the major TV stations right across the courtyard, and the local big Post Dispatch had an office in the court building. So even then, even with exposure like that on a nearly daily basis, I would often freeze. So it is possible he misspoke. It is possible he was just tired and got it wrong. But if the statement stands that he somehow learned the night before they reached a verdict, and that he learned of the other convictions, that could be problematic, but it's not automatically problematic. In most places, and in Arizona as well, a defendant has a right to file a motion for new trial. If Lori's going to appeal, she's going to do that. In fact, everybody does that. That's not new, novel, or exciting to those of us in the field. It sounds exciting to people who maybe not follow it the way we do, but Lori has a right to file that motion for new trial. If there is concerns about that statement or evidence to suggest he learned of information while the case was going on that was external to the court trial, then that would be the place we would see it raised.
Yeah, I would actually hate to see them retry her on this, because again, this is what she wants, is to keep, having her little field trips out of jail. Exactly right. Try me, and that's exactly right. It is a waste. Probably more than anything about that, obviously it doesn't sound good that he knew. It does also say that they didn't know right out of the gate. Right, exactly right. Can you believe that he said that, Jerry? I can't. How do you feel sorry for her? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it sounds like he would have. Unbelievable. Literally unbelievable to me. That was wild. Exactly right. She killed her kids. How in the world do you feel sorry for her? That's just crazy. I think he what? Yep, I think so. Try me. I think so. Yep. How insane is that, though? He had to be talked into it. Thanks, Queen. Queen, can you believe he said he felt sorry for her? Oh. I actually have a dislike for this man. God. Yeah, look, Queen, she does. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. I know. Yeah, so you know, the way he talks, he would have gone the other way. So, you know, I just can't. I tell you guys this all the time. I'm concerned about jurors always because you know, it's supposed to be a jury of your peers, but I'll tell you, I don't know that I feel comfortable that they are my actual peers. Good night, Frazzled. Love you. Thank you. Exactly. Right. That's why I say I fail to believe some of these people are my peers. I do. And he does. He seems weird. I told you I mostly set it to right. I never would. Hey, Maze. Good to see you. I would rather like a judge have my life in their hands like that. Jurors scare me. And I felt a certain kind of way about some of these jurors when I was there and I saw them. They did make me nervous. I didn't really want to say anything. Like, I don't want to be judgmental because I don't, but I did feel a little weird about them. Right. Right. And there is shady shit that goes on, but I did try me, and I tried really hard not to say any. I didn't say much about, because I don't really know, you know. I told Queen a little bit that I felt a little bit weird, but I didn't really want to say very much. Yeah. I felt a little weird about some of the ones I saw. But that doesn't mean anything, right? Like, that's just wild. That guy said I felt sorry for her. You are crazy. I did. I felt a little bit strange. Most people are going to come out of there and find out and go, oh my God. Yeah. I could see the one day they were very engaged. They were very engaged when Kay was on the stand. They seemed engaged the day I was there for sure. Like they were definitely listening. But how you feel sorry for someone who killed their own children is beyond me. Yeah, Maze. Yeah, listen to it. Listen to this. It's gross. Well, he's saying something that makes it sound like he knew more than he was supposed to. But yeah, listen to this.
Reaction learning that she has been convicted in killing her 2 children.
You know what? I feel sorry for her. You know, I mean,
Is it normal?
driving home yesterday, I'm just like, God, she's spending the next 3 lives in prison in a cell. You know, I mean, you got.
First of all, he wasn't supposed to know about that the day before. Straight said that. I felt sorry for her. No, she's spending the next 3 lives in prison. Okay, hold on. She should be buried under the prison. Right? He wasn't supposed to know. That whole talk of this is because, right, because that's what he said. But who the hell thought anybody would have come out of, would know that and feel sorry for her?
You got to feel sorry for her, even though, I mean, that's awful thing to do. I mean, there's something wrong up there, but what do you say? Still, you know, you just feel awful about it.
Somebody said, what did he say? Did somebody say that right there? Okay, let's see again. Exactly. I think so. Yeah, let's listen. I think exactly. She feels sorry for Tylee and JJ, not her. I think so.
Here again is what the juror said yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, do you remember your reaction learning that she has been convicted in killing her 2 children?
You know what? I feel sorry for her. You know, I mean,
Is it normal?
driving home yesterday, I'm just like, God, she's spending the next 3 lives in prison in a cell. You know, I mean, you got to feel sorry for her, even though, I mean, that's awful thing to do. I mean, there's something wrong up there, but what do you say? Still, you know, you just feel awful about it.
Yeah, somebody said, whoa. What did he just say? Yeah, they did. Did you hear that? Right. They should feel horrible for what Charles. Exactly right. Yeah, they did. Wow. Exactly. Whoever else. He is a weirdo.
Okay, so what does all this mean?
Well, I think technically they are serial killers. I mean, I don't know. What did we? 3 different people in different instances or something? I don't know. I do too, Drake. For sure, Joe Ryan. That's what I think. And look at, she's still giggling and laughing and thinks she's cute. It's really gross. It is really gross. Right, she killed her whole family. I mean, look what she did to Colby. You want to feel sorry for somebody? Hearing Kay on the stand, because I never knew this. I never knew that Kay received Charles through FedEx, sent to her job. I mean, for Pete's sake. The woman is evil. She does not give a squat about anybody. Yep, exactly. She's so foul. Oh, I can't. I mean, you look at Colby, and I feel very proud of him so many times. He's really having breakthroughs and doing well. But really, I mean, he's never going to really be okay. Yeah, I know. She did another one tonight, Maze. We just watched it earlier. Yeah, we watched it here earlier. And she's surprised. Oh, wait. Okay, here's this interview from earlier today.
Her interview. She was on the jury and has some interesting aspects. So here is my conversation with Tosh. All right, Tosh. So how are you feeling here? It's been 2 days since the guilty verdict. Have you binged, watched, and read everything about the case, or have you kind of unplugged?
Oh, you didn't watch? Oh, yes, yes. No, I did watch Colby. That was very hard. Yeah, Jerry, you gotta watch. He really broke down, or it was bad. Poor thing. I mean, my heart breaks for him all the time. Yeah, there are plenty of people to feel sorry for here, and she is 100% not one of them. He did try me. It was so sad. Oh, it broke my heart. It had me crying. I pray for him every day. Poor thing. Me too. And you just can't, it's so sad. See, this is the whole thing. The whole Lori show is going to be over with. After Brandon, for one thing, Idaho doesn't let her do these. They don't let her. She's already said that. She tried to do an interview with Dateline when she was in Idaho. They won't let her. They won't let her play these games, which I'm very glad. I don't know why Arizona lets her do it, but she needs to get this done and get the hell out of here. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know why the hell they're letting her do it. Because, quite frankly, anything she wants to do, the answer needs to be no. How about no to everything you want? You don't just get to kill everyone and then just carry on acting like a stupid little floozy like you like to act. It's not one bit cute. But look at that man thinking that way. You know what? That makes me feel a certain kind of way about that guy. You didn't feel sorry for Charles. You didn't feel sorry for the kids. You felt sorry for her? Who the hell? You think that once people find out, they would be like, well, thank God we had the right verdict. I mean, he does seem like a weirdo. I don't like him. Right. How do you feel sorry for that shit? It's always stupid. I don't want to know people who feel sorry for her. I don't want to know anybody who feels sorry for that. Keep saying that Tylee killed herself. Shut the hell up, you stupid bitch. Oh my God. I can't with her. Tylee killed herself. She fucking said it again tonight. She didn't bury her dismembered self in your fucking sick ass man tits boyfriend's yard. I mean, shut your damn mouth. I know, she does. That day she started on the trial. Did you swab Tylee's hands? Shut up. Stop it. I think she put that girl through a lot of hell her whole life, and then she went and killed her. So you just shut your mouth. I don't know. I don't have any proof of it. I feel like she made the girl sick her whole life. Right. I don't know that. Who knows? But look at how her friends even talked about her, and Chad, remember? So that Lori Gibb, or Melanie Gibb, sweet Melanie, made me want to vomit. She talked about how she didn't get along with Tylee, that Tylee was not nice and was hard to get along with. And then look at Chad. Chad told those people that he tried to get money from to get Lori out of jail. Fucking weird. He told them that he didn't get along with Tylee. Why was she around all these people that didn't get along with your daughter? You start talking shit about my kid, we're not good anymore. I know. I know. Right? Well, you know what though? Growing up with her, look how she had all the mirrors in there so she could dance. She's a weirdo. Right, Maze? How did she have all these friends and boyfriend and all these people that were just allowed to talk shit about her kid? There's certain things that you're not allowed to do. You know, I might say something about my kids sometimes. I might say something about my parents sometimes, whatever. Those are two people who no one else is allowed to speak on. Don't do it. Don't speak on my kids, my husband, my parents. But and you know why they didn't get along? You want to know why they didn't get along with Tylee? Because Tylee knew. Don't you find that weird? Not only was Lori okay with them not getting along with her daughter, of course she was. She was good with her being killed. But why is it they didn't get, those were some weird ass people in their lives. And Tylee was vocal about it. She knew they were weird. Fucked up. Yeah, I don't know why all of a sudden that man looks familiar to me. I don't, probably because I saw him as a juror. I don't know. I don't know him. I know I don't. And I don't want to know him. Anybody who feels sorry for that evil, wicked bitch, I don't want to know. Right. The fact that Tylee didn't get along with those people, that says a whole lot about her. She saw right through them. She saw right through those crazy ass people. And not only that, he said that shit after she was dead. God. In your yard, you sick fuck. Yeah, it had to have been it, because he was telling those people that he was trying to get them to put their property up to get Lori out of jail. So Lori was in jail, but he wasn't. That was in between the time before they found those kids in the yard, because when the day they found those kids, he was taken away. He hasn't been back out. That's what he said to that lady when he was trying to get those friends of his to put up money to get Lori out of jail. He said that her daughter didn't like him. Who says that? After they killed the kids and then they killed Tammy, they took all of his kids to Disneyland. They were all adults, mind you. What the fuck? And that's what Colby was saying. When he interviewed her, he wanted to know, he was hoping that, he said one thing he wanted to ask her was, why your kids? How come your kids had to die and not his? He said, I just didn't understand that. But she jumps right out of the gate fucking blaming Tylee, so he just said it wasn't even worth asking her anything. I mean, forget it. Oh, I think she did. Yeah, before they took off, I don't know. Either, no, because she was flown home from Hawaii in a private jet and went right to jail. So right before they went to go get married on the beach, the ukulele and all this horse shit, they took his kids to Disneyland or Knott's Berry Farm. That's where they went. Somebody said recently, I think it was Nate, said that Emma either did or still does call Lori mom. Yeah. All of them. They went on a trip. While those kids are in the yard. Emma is crazy. I know. It's unreal, honestly. All of it. She didn't answer the question about why she didn't end up calling. Oh, the judicial system. That's why she didn't call. Right. When that woman asked her why she didn't end up calling her family to the stand, the judicial system. You know why? Because they weren't answering anybody. They weren't trying. They didn't want to go. They never went and supported her. Now, in my opinion, they waited way too late to stop supporting her. But they don't support her now. Right. Well, the thing is, they never made themselves available. There was not one person in that courtroom that was supporting her. Nobody. They're not. They're not. Neither were Tylee's friends. That's who else she had on her list. Can you imagine those poor kids? Leave them the fuck alone. Oh, wow. It was nice chatting with you too, Maze. It was good to see you. Yeah, have a good night. Good luck in college. I can't do that. I can't go back to school right now myself. Let's see.
I've watched it, and just kind of relaxing now that it's done. And yeah, it was pretty crazy, everything that we saw.
What's been the biggest surprise that you've learned since the trial's been over about the circumstances with this case?
By the time she even gets to this part of the whole thing, she won't even make it to it, which is crazy because she's already serving so much in
Yeah,
Idaho.
you mean by the time she gets whatever she said to do with this part doesn't really matter because in Idaho she has the 3 life sentences.
Yeah,
So you didn't even know any of that.
no,
No idea. And now
Nope.
now that you've learned, did you ever during the trial? My big question was for the jurors. You kept hearing about Tylee. Did you ever wonder, well, where is Tylee?
yes, yeah, but we couldn't really ask about it or look into it because we were asked not to. So
Did you think that Tylee was still alive?
yeah,
You did.
yeah, because at the time she was only 16, so that would only put her in her 20s.
Mhm. What was the biggest surprise for you in the trial? Like, what was there one day or one witness that really like surprised you?
Actually, yeah, the girl that met up with Charles the day before.
Nancy Joe.
Yeah, it was a little bit um it was pretty interesting to watch hers. More because it blew up for her comeback, what she said, but I was surprised that she was there.
Wait, I think you mean the moment when Lori said, "So you spent your whole time talking about me," and she said, "Don't flatter yourself."
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly that.
yeah. That she was a memorable witness, and I know a lot of people were impressed with her. What was your thought about Lori? How the job she did in representing herself?
Honestly, the first part was a little shaky. The first week was a little bit shaky, but then the second part, I think she did pretty well. Other than like the parts where she got a little bit sassy,
Right,
but yeah,
right. I think that's kind of her personality. How
yeah,
about how about the prosecution? How do you think they did?
I think they did extremely well. They got her to, you could tell that they cracked her a few times, and that was good. That was a good thing to see happen and watch
Were there
because
any,
it helped us with the overall.
right to the overall picture, the overall story of it?
Yeah, yep.
Was there ever a moment where you were like confused or like wondering, wait, who are we talking about here? Because there's a lot of characters here, and there's
hmm
a lot of your one character becomes Ned because he's a zombie. I mean,
hmm
were you ever just trying to put it all together in your mind?
Yes, but I like to think that I did pretty good at taking notes. So I wrote all the times down. I wrote all the names down. I wrote when it happened. Um, I had pages and pages and pages of notes. So I looked at those every day at the end, and I was pretty good at keeping on track with who everyone was and all that.
Very smart of you to do that. You didn't get to
hmm
keep the notes, so huh? Yeah, they kept them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was the deliberation like? Did you all watch the video that Lori asked you to watch?
We did. Um, we were what we saw in court on the big screen, the clippets of it, was the parts that were actually important to hear. Like what she wanted us to watch wasn't anything. We were confused why she wanted us to watch the whole thing because what they showed was important pieces of the interview, and out of the whole thing, she was um, kind of smiling, laughing, not really serious. So we were kind of confused why she wanted us to watch it because it just helped in our overall decision.
It didn't help her then.
No,
Did it hurt her?
yes, because if you're in an interview minutes after this whole thing happened, you'd think that you'd be kind of like scared, shaky, maybe, questioning. But she took her sandals off, she crossed her legs, she sat up straight she was sitting in the recliner like she lived there. And then she was laughing and joking with the detective, and yeah.
And the word of the trial seemed to be, one of the words was nonchalant, and that's what your take of how she was.
Yes, exactly that. It was pretty.
I'm
It
glad
was
they thought
interesting
that
to
way.
see how she acted like that after all that happened.
Was there a piece of evidence that really stuck out to you? I mean, did seeing the bat and the gun and the piece of floor, did that help put it together?
No. Well, so if we were doing Alex's case, it would have, right? But being on her case, we already know Alex did it. He admitted to it. What we were there for is the conspiracy to do it. So like seeing all the evidence, super cool. But it was the text messages, it was the interviews, and how she was acting in court that helped us.
Interesting.
But the part that stood out to us was where she said that Charles was Ned before they got rid of him. She specifically said before we got rid of him, and then she said we're both going to be like Nephi. So that was the part where we all were like, yeah, that's pretty insane.
So the text messages really are what kind of sealed it.
Yeah.
Interesting. So because she didn't pull the trigger,
See, so what's nice is that weirdo felt sorry for Lori. She saw all of the nonsense. She saw right through her. I love that too, because Lori begged them to watch all that when it doesn't make her look good at all. But apparently to weirdo,
she didn't use the bat. You're saying it helped add to it, but really you're looking at the conspiracy.
God
Was that
guy
kind of
was
hard to separate?
not the
Like,
norm.
because conspiracy could be harder to prove rather than first degree murder.
Yeah, and that's why it took a little bit longer because, like I said, even though we were given all the evidence, she didn't use it. So what we were looking at was the text messages, was the videos of how she was acting. Another part that stuck out to us was she said that they ran out with no shoes. But in the clip that we saw from Walgreens, she was actually wearing shoes when she walked in, and then continued to buy new sandals and switch them out by the time she got back to the scene.
See, what was that about?
Yeah. Oh, I know so many people are going to be glad to hear you say that, because when we would talk about that every night on Courtroom Insider, we showed the video and people are like, she's wearing shoes. Yet she made a point that they had to stop to get shoes because of the hot asphalt in Arizona.
Yeah. Maybe Tylee didn't have them on, but obviously we couldn't see that. But she also said that they both ran out with no shoes. So when we did watch the clip again and saw that she was actually wearing them and that she switched them out from the time she got them to the time she got back, that was pretty crazy.
What did you think of the encounter with her and Kay Woodcock, Charles's sister? Kay testified, and Lori didn't have much to ask her.
Yeah. It was a really good interview. I think Kay did really well with how she presented herself and how she answered. With how Lori was asking the questions, I think Kay did extremely well answering them back, even though Lori was kind of trying to crack her and trying to get something out of her that just wasn't a thing.
Yeah. What was your take on her defense that this was all just a family tragedy?
It wasn't. Like I said in the interview before,
I like her a lot.
If he would have done it, if he would have shot him once, it could have been self-defense. But he ended up shooting him again when he was already on the ground, and you can't defend yourself when you're already on the ground. So him shooting him a second time was not self-defense. It's not maybe it's a family tragedy to Kobe and obviously to their side of the family, right? But Lori's side, it's not a family tragedy when it was supposed to happen.
Yeah. Walk us through. A lot of people have so many questions about being on jury duty, like
Hmm.
being called as a juror. You really didn't know anything about this case.
I did not. I've only lived here 2 years as of March, so I didn't know. I go to work, I come home, I play with my dogs, cats, and that's it. I scroll on social media, but it's not anything like that. Never has popped up because I've never heard of it before, and so I've
You
never seen anything about it at all.
hadn't seen anything about it. You get the summons. You go down to the courthouse. Did you want to serve on the jury, or did you care?
Um, I honestly, I thought it, whether it was this case or not, because I had no idea what this case was, I thought it was a pretty cool experience. Because I lived
She is like the
24
perfect
years of
juror.
my life in Minnesota and nothing. Like I've got nothing. And then I move here, and 2 years later, I'm on like the biggest case in America right now.
Right.
So
But yet
I
you
thought
didn't
it,
realize it at the time.
right, but getting summoned
Right?
to jury is a pretty cool experience no matter what case it is.
Right.
So I mean, I wanted to do it just to see how it was.
Just to serve. So you get picked,
Hmm.
and I believe didn't the judge said you can tell people the name of the case, but that's it.
Yes. Yeah. So when that happened, I ended up telling my grandma, and she was like, Tosh, how do you not know who that is? Like, everyone knows who that is. What do you mean? And she was like, she was wanting to tell me all this stuff. And I'm like, Grandma, you can't tell me that. Like, don't tell me things. And so the whole time she was like, oh, I wish I could tell you this. I wish I could tell you that. How was your day? Like, just wanting to know everything.
Right. Yeah. I spoke with other jurors in the Idaho cases that was the same thing. One actually, he had to go home and just go straight upstairs because all his wife wanted to do was talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard because nobody knew my name prior to this. And then, so nobody was asking me questions other than my grandma. And like my mom, she's back in Minnesota, and so when she was there, she was like basically just asking how my day was because she doesn't know anything about it either because she's from Minnesota, so it's not something we hear.
Right.
And but other than that, the second I gave my name out and how to spell it, it took off. Like everything's going crazy now.
Right. Everybody wants to talk to you.
Yep.
What moment did you realize, okay, this is a big story, or there's interest? Was it seeing the people waiting outside the courtroom every day? Or are you just realizing it in the past 2 days since the verdict that this is huge?
I realized it, I think it was like on our second or third day, because
I know.
when we first got into it, like the first day, they gave us these badges. And if you look at other jurors there, they didn't have the badges like we had. And so we had them because we were on one of the biggest cases. We didn't know that, but as long as we had those badges on, we couldn't talk to anyone. So then that's when I realized, and
I didn't even
walking
notice
up
that.
every morning and it said media staging, I'm like, this is insane. I've never seen anything like it before. So I think by the second and third day, I was kind of like, wow, this is bigger than what I thought it was.
So to walk people through the process, you guys would show up at a parking garage and they'd shuttle you over. How did it all work? How did the day go?
So I think everyone but me, maybe even, parked in the parking garage a couple blocks away, and then they would shuttle them over there. I let my wife drive me because I like my car and I don't trust people, so I didn't want to park it blocks away where I couldn't see it.
And
so
by the way, I would walk by you every day at the end of court. I'd be on the phone. I have to say, I can't talk right now. There's a juror. Okay, while you wait for your wife to arrive, and then I'd be down the block and be like, okay, I can talk. And it was so hard to not pass you my card. I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so your wife would drive you. So once she dropped you off at the courthouse.
Yeah, she would drop me off and pick me up, and then I would walk up to the courthouse. staging areas there. Everyone's already looking at you because they know that you're on the jury because they've seen us.
I think so too.
So we walk in, go through the detectors. We were actually there so much that if we just walked through, they were like, "Okay, you can go through." Like they were at the point where we're like, we're seeing you every day. So
Right.
then I would go get like a drink from the vending machine, but then we'd have to go through the elevators and up to the back area so that nobody could talk to us, question us, anything like that. And then we just had to sit there and not talk. Like we couldn't talk among each other either if it was about the case. We could only get to know each other. So there wasn't much talking other than there was only 2 of us girls. So it was a bunch of guys being guys talking about motorcycles, their artwork, whatever. And so, but then we just would go through the back room, sit there and not talk till we got called onto the stand.
So then you go out, you sit
Wow.
through the trial, and then break for lunch, and you could go have lunch wherever.
We could, but we had to keep the badge on at all times.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yep.
And did the court pay for your lunch?
No.
Oh, wow.
And let me tell you, the court lunch is not cheap. It's like a hospital lunch. Like it's like the hospital meals because they're not cheap. It's pretty expensive.
Right. And what that was surprising to me, to be honest with you, in Idaho, all the jurors got their meals paid for. They brought in a catered meal every day.
Yeah, I started bringing my own lunches.
Yeah.
Because that way I don't have to go anywhere, be looked at during it.
You would just stay upstairs in the room and eat.
Yeah, we went down. Well, we go down to the quiet room. That's where the jurors are.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the day, was it hard? I mean, did you ever just want to walk out of there and be like, what did I just hear? And who can I tell? Or did you just kind of turn it off?
I think most of the days I was like, I want to tell you everything. But some of the days I was just like, didn't want to think about it because I was already there all day. So it was pretty hard not telling anyone about it. But at the same time, it was peaceful.
Right.
Because that we were already in the court all day listening to everything. And then to go home and just kind of decompress was nice.
Right. Yeah. So we go through 19 witnesses with the prosecutor.
This is who you want on a
and
jury.
that takes 5, 6, 7 days over a few weeks.
She's awesome.
And then you walked in and Lori said she was going to rest without any defense or witnesses. What was your reaction?
I think we all just kind of like looked at each other like, what?
Yeah. Were you wanting her to say something to have a defense?
Yes. Yeah, it was out of all of it because we didn't know where any of her side was. It was all the witnesses from the state. So we were expecting the family members, like anyone, like her friends at the time, and just no one. So we were all just kind of confused. We all just looked at each other and like, that's weird.
Did you know that it was going to end that day and that you would start your deliberations like within an hour?
No, we actually thought we still had like 2 more weeks to go.
Mm.
Oh my God.
Because they told you to keep your schedule clear through, I think, beginning of May, right?
Yeah, May 15th was the latest.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you get the case, the judge reads you your instructions, and it's lengthy instructions. I mean, it took like 45 minutes.
Yeah, and we had to go through it twice. So
right. So he reads them to you, and then when you get together in the room, don't you have to go through them too?
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay.
No, he read them to us, and then if we want to, we could reread them. I didn't see anyone that did.
Yeah.
Just because it took so long. But he did it at the very beginning, and then he did it at the very end. And they were pretty thick packets.
So you go in the room, and you were only there 17 minutes, I think, the first day. Was that just to pick a four person, or how did all that work?
The very first day?
Yeah, after you guys got the case, after sorry, the first day of deliberations, after the case.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, after you got the case and it was done, and the judge said, "All right, the case is yours." You all went in a room. What did you do that first day for 15 or so minutes?
We actually just sat there and waited, and for someone to come tell us what to do.
Oh.
And then they were like, "You can come back tomorrow, and we'll start tomorrow." And then we did it all in that time. Was the next day, and within like 30 to 40 minutes.
Oh wow! So the first day you didn't even deliberate. The first day you just kind of waited for instructions.
Yeah. Yep.
And so coming back the next day, did
Wow.
everybody already kind of have an idea on who wanted to be the foreperson, or was it just you did?
No, it was actually between me or there was a guy with his
Long
long
beard.
beard. Yeah, the guy that was next to me. It was between us, and then we did rock paper scissors, and we voted, and it came down to him. So.
And then you said you had a verdict in really kind of less than an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, because all of us knew, except 10 out of 12 of us knew. So 2 of them were kind of still on the edge. So we rewatched everything. We rewatched everything that they wanted
I
to
know,
see
right?
that they were on the edge about. And then after that, we just came to the conclusion and they were ready.
Was there any sort of debate over like a particular thing, like I'm not sure, or was it pretty much, this is what it was?
Yeah, it was. This is what it was. Like for one of them that was on the edge, the part that set the whole thing was where she walked in with shoes, but said that she didn't. He was like, well, she lied about that. So why would she lie about that when it's just sandals, But yeah, that was one of the things that they were on the fence about, and we rewatched it, and he was like, okay, now I know.
Interesting that was the key point.
Have a great time tomorrow. Oh, this is long. There's a lot more. Yeah, have a good time tomorrow. Love you. Do you want to finish watching this? It is getting late. Yeah, I think I'm gonna finish watching it in bed. It is really good. It's actually really good. Okay, yeah, we're gonna end it then because I didn't realize this was gonna be that long. Shit. Yeah, exactly. Me too. All right. Well, thanks. I'm really glad that Julie came in tonight. I'm anxious to see what goes on there because I think she's really got something, and something needs to blow that mess up because it's all nonsense and irritating. Yeah, it will. All right. Good night. We'll talk about all this more later. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. Good night.